Hello, I'm Matt Bystrak, Superintendent of Schools of the West Seneca School District. I can't believe it, but we're already in the first week of June, and I thought I would just take a moment just to do a little update on maybe some live and late breaking type of things. So, in light of some of the very unfortunate events that have taken place, around the country and within our own community, unfortunately, over the past few weeks, safety has been on people's minds. So, I know I sent out a communication last week. I thought I would just take this opportunity just to kind of talk a little bit about our approach to safety. Ultimately, I will tell you that it's a responsibility that is shared by all. There's no member of the school community, whether it be a staff member or a student or a parent, that doesn't have some obligation to help ensure the safety and well-being of everything on our campuses. So, as I indicated in the letter, we've been over the past several years really working to harden our campuses, harden being, kind of making more secure entrances and getting things like intruder locks for our classroom doors, things like that. And honestly, the capital improvement project we're currently in, we have more of that in there. So this is stuff that we're continually looking to be able to upgrade to. But that also, we have a very robust school resource officer program. We have 5 school resource officers, which frankly is more than most districts would have. And our resource officers are just amazing. They're really part of the fabric of our school community. They refer to it often as community policing. These individuals develop trusting relationships with members of our school community so that people feel comfortable utilizing them for support. I will say too, one of the approaches to safety that doesn't always directly come out really is just really focusing and setting our staff up in positions where they have the ability to develop strong and meaningful relationships with our students. Things like lowering class sizes. If a teacher has a few fewer students to work with and develop relationships with, they're more likely to be able to troubleshoot and spot things in advance of them becoming big issues. Or kids, the stronger the relationship, the more comfortable they're going to be able to coming in, talking to a teacher or a trusted adult in school. We've over the past few years, we've really invested in a number of mental health professionals in the district. And again, going back to our school resource officers and the West Seneca Police, we all partner together to try to help ensure a safe environment where the good of all is taken into consideration. Sometimes I like to talk about the invisible statistic. How many things have we been able to prevent or avert, or situations where early intervention has really enabled us to find a better outcome than would have happened if we didn't have maybe the strong relationships that we do. So I wanted to be able to maybe talk about some of the things that aren't necessarily communicated as well in a letter, but that are in fact really a part of how we operate in West Seneca. So I'm going to pivot a little bit here. Our families, we're notifying families over the course of the next day or so about a new move that we're making with our Regents exams. So back probably about a month ago, we communicated to our families that any students that passed the Regents exam were going to be given course credit for that course, even if they hadn't passed the actual course. And this is in response to, frankly, some of the things and challenges that we've had to deal with throughout COVID-19. You'll recall earlier this year, the quarantining and things like that. And really just helping to get our kids back kind of on track again. Some of our teachers just haven't been able to cover the material with the depth that they normally would have covered some of that material. So we want to make sure our students aren't being penalized for that. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be ensuring that Regents grade on an exam doesn't harm a student. So basically, we're only going to count it in an overall average if it helps the student. If it doesn't help the student, then we will not be counting that Regents grade in the overall average. Students still have to take Regents exams in order to get credit for the course. But the way we're currently structured is that the Regents exam counts as 20% of a grade. Ultimately, we don't want to let that harm anyone. So we'll be sending out a written communication about this to our families so everybody understands what's expected. But just to say to our students again, you still have to take Regents exams. So finally, we're reaching, now that we're in the first week of June, we're reaching that critical end of the year. It's really a time for celebration and reflection. And, I know that we really worked through, any number of adverse situations, over the past several months, and throughout the entire school year. I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far this year in West Seneca. I'm really looking forward to, a peaceful and calm end to the school year and putting into place whatever supports we need to make that happen. But as our families in the district, our students, our families, and our staff, we all have a shared responsibility to ensure that we have a peaceful and positive end to the school year. That's all for now.